Oh, hello again, everyone. Welcome back. Thanks for visiting once again. And back we are to the Focke Wulf Fw190. Today I'm going to attempt to do some, well, rather fiddly things, to be honest with you, which is why I have the swear box at the ready. I'm hoping that I don't tits it up, according to Chris over at Rally Car Miniatures. Also bollocks it up according to Nigel over at Nigel's modelling bench, and all the best to both of them. Before I carry on, just a quick shout and a quick word about two rather special people in the modelling community who I've no doubt you will all know, which one of whom is Sue, who is the Ice Queen 7 at Ice Queen 7. Who does her lives on a Sunday evening and a Tuesday evening. And joining her is the Plastic Monkey, who I refer to as Mr. Plastic, who I think others know as Paul, and good for him. He builds very nicely in his little corner of modelling land, and I've got a lot of time for both of them, and I was very fortunate to be involved in one of their live get-togethers a little while ago. Hope that I will do so again, and do pop across and join Paul and Sue and also Richie on a Sunday and a Tuesday. And on a Tuesday they do a look over at people's finished builds, which they submit to Sue's Facebook page. As I say, do take a look. It's worthwhile looking at, and what I will say about this is that the standards of finished builds keep rising. They keep getting better, and the bar keeps being raised by everybody, and I think that's a fine thing. So anyway, let's get back to what we're going to have a go at today. And as you can see, I've got an HGW detail set, which includes the seat belts and also the what they call the masks, the paint masks for both the exterior and interior. Other types of paint mask are available, but I got this because excuse me, dear oh dear, I got this because it was convenient. It was because it contained both bits and bobs, so it's really completion of this cockpit detail here, because it doesn't come with a belt, and the belts seem to fit here and here. So I've done a bit of a paint out on the seat, just give it a bit of colour change in there, just to make it look a little bit more, shall we say, realistic. Hopefully it does. I'm going to try and mimic this colour here as much as I can on the rim of the cockpit coaming of the FW190. As you will know, the coaming here is a sort of padded leather affair, which means that the pilot doesn't really do himself an awful lot of injury if he bashes himself having pushed forwards suddenly, shall we say. But anyway, be that as it may, I'm going to try and achieve these belts. Now, some things to know about this really is that this is exceedingly small and exceedingly detailed. I started one here, so let's zero in. I'm going to come into, this is 3.5 times magnification, and you can see the sort of scale here when you look at my fingernail and also this tweezer here. So these little efforts here, these little clips here, this little clip fits at the top of the cockpit behind the pilot's seat, and then we have a little strap here, and as we move down we have another little strap here that looks slightly different, and then at the bottom here there will be some form of other strap in this, and I'll show you that whilst I'm here. Let's just put that down there for a second, and we'll just pick this up now. There'll be another form of strap, which I'm guessing is going to be one or other of those. Now, the reason why I'm guessing, and we'll zero out, excuse me, got a bit of a cough, but there we are, is that here is the plan here, let's zero out a little bit more, be able to see this a little bit, maybe a little bit in a bit, you know, like the golden shot, won't it? In a bit, out a bit. So strap length 4 here has this section here, but as you can see, this isn't numbered, so it's not really clear what it is, but it looks, if I can get this out, it looks like one of those, so we'll have a crack at putting that on in a minute. Now this has a little sticky pad on the back, which means that sometimes it sticks down, so you have to pay some attention to taking this off, and it is the same with this as well. So today what we'll do is I'll just pull that off, because I can put that away in my bin, because we don't really need it, to be honest with you. Now, the initial error I made when putting this belt together the first time was that these belts themselves, I'm getting myself a blade, have a backing to them, so one needs to be careful and attend to that, because this backing needs to be removed. Now I didn't realise this, and somewhat surprisingly managed to get this arrangement through one of the buckles, and it was only when this backing started to come away that I actually realised that there was one. So felt a bit foolish, to be honest with you, because I thought, well, I got one of these straps through, how am I going to get the other confounded one through? And it would have been quite impossible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do most of this probably underneath the magnifier, because it's the only way that I'm going to be able to see it. So I'm going to try and remove the backing from this in a semi-useful way. As you can see, that one's come away quite easily. I gather some of them, in fact I've had some experience with the Focke Corsair one, the backings didn't come away at all, so we can just draw that away, and this bit we can just chuck out, we don't need it. And this allows us to begin to prepare the strap. So I'm going to put that down there for a minute, and I'll consult the instructions off. So we want buckle number 10, which is, I think you can see that one there. So I'm going to cut this off screen, because I think it may be somewhat easier to do. And with these, you take the first cut on the one side, and what I do with this is to, in fact I'll try and show you this if I can, is take the first cut on the one side, as you can see that there. Let's zero out just a little bit so that you can see this maybe. And then I position the blade on the second side and then put my finger over the top and then make the second cut if I can. See, this is on a soft, and that's gone completely. So we've lost that one because I didn't have my finger over it, and that's exactly the thing that I'm trying to avoid, and by great good fortune that fell onto my leg, so we now have that. So I'm going to put that there and put that out the way, and so we didn't need to swear, so the swear box was not filled thus far. And what I can do is take this and have a look at it both ways up and find out which way I want to do this. And let's just zero in a little bit for you. Now you can see this now. I'm going to feed this end here through the two buckle straps, and hopefully to match the one at the other, on the other side. So I'm going to use one as my top and one as the bottom, and so with any luck, as you can see, we start to feed that through. That's now on, and just grip that gently and run that through to there. So I'm going to run that past there like that. I think that's how we want to do it. Yep, that looks like it. So what I can then do is use my tweezer and then twist this over here and then attempt to introduce this piece of paper into this other side here, and away we go there. And then we can, having got this on here, we can then start to draw this up together. And I want to draw the number slightly past. That looks about right, I would say. So that's that on. So what we'll then do is we'll now find number 9. As you can see, I've used one number 9. I'm going to use a second. So I'm going to do this off camera, not on camera. And I'm going to take a cut onto the hard surface. Oh no, that's switched off. That's not supposed to happen. And now you can hear the little click as it cuts through the fret. Just going to have a quick look at that to make sure yes, because I need to cut at that point there. And I can feel that. I was able to put my finger over the top of that, and then I can move that away to there, and then I can gently tweeze that up onto my finger. And as you can see, we've now got that. And what I should do is skip that over there, because as you can see, that's exactly what I want it to do. Yes, I do need to do a bit of filing on that, so that's going to present a small challenge. Right, that should be alright. I can probably use that as some sort of a clamp. No, not there. And not there either. So filing these little components is going to be incredibly difficult. And, well, actually, Paulie over at Paulie's workbench, he that does the tanks so very well, came up with a way of doing this using the metal bending tool that you can buy on the interweb. And by that I mean this. So what we can do is we can introduce this into the metal bending tool and clamp it like that, and then it's not going anywhere. And then we can take our little flat file and we can gently file that so that it becomes smooth. So that's Paulie's workbench for you. I'm going to try and leave a link in the comments if I remember. Hopefully I do. And that's a brilliant little tip from Paulie's workbench on how to use one of these bits of kit to help you file very small. Oh, it's not going to work, is it? There we go. I just need to undo that. Very small sections. So we'll take that out. Now we can file the other side, and we can do the same thing. So oh, there we go. So we insert it in. Misses. Clamp it up. We'll just give it a quick. That's not going anywhere, but it's not quite straight. So oh bugger! I've just bent that. Is bugger on the box? Bugger it is. It's 50p anyway. There we go. So let's just straighten that up a little bit. that should be fine. That's fine. So again, tiny little gentle file of this, and you do have to really be very gentle with this. If you took your 12-inch bastard file to this, by the way, that's not a swear word because it's a grade of file, all those of you who don't know, then you'd make a bloody mess of this very quickly, but we haven't. So what we'll then do is just loosen that off so we can see the clamp start to move, and then we can put that away somewhere else. Now, we have slightly bent that, but I'm not going to get my panties in a bundle about that, to be perfectly truthful with you. So with this, we only need to feed it through just the one way, and then we can fold it over. I'm going to try and get the right length here as well, so that it's approximately similar to this one here. So it needs to go a little bit further down. Oh bugger, that's not good. Right, and then we can fold it over like that, just flatten it out. And then what we can do is we can glue it with a bit of super glue, but I'm going to hold that just in there a minute just to do a quick comparison to make sure we've got the right. Yeah, it wants to be a little bit shorter, doesn't it? I think. So I think we ought to try and do it right, didn't we? Try and do it as best we can. And so we'll run that just a little bit further down, just to make it, doesn't have to be absolutely precise, but good enough should do it, as it were. So there we go. And now we've inserted said clamp in there, we can start to think about gluing that piece of paper down. And what I'm going to do with that is just use some super glue, just a little bit of super glue. So I'm going to put that down there for a minute, get my little tub of super glue and my super glue holder, which is off camera here for the minute. You can just see me in the bottom left corner there applying super glue through my so what we'll do is we'll just put that, no I can't put that there, we can zero out a little bit, that's in, not out, there we go, so you can see that there. I'm going to use little wooden stick quickly because it's got a point and it allows me to be able to do this. So let's get that into the position where we want it. A little bit of glue there. We're going to have to be a bit careful with this, I think. But the idea here will be to just fold that over and hold it in place for a second, and hopefully then it glues up, and aha, there we go. There we are. So far so good. So let's just clean that off a minute because it's going to be a few minutes until we need super glue again. It may have dried by then, but I'm going to take a flyer on the fact that it doesn't. So consulting our instructions again, we now want buckle number 5. And buckle number 5 is here. So again, we get our tweezers and we just point that one out there. So this has got 2 loops on it, and we're going to have to put 2 pieces of strap through it. So I'm going to cut that off and then place the first strap through. And so I'm doing that off camera just now, just cutting that away from the fret. and then we'll be very carefully away. So once the part is cut away from the fret, if you carefully lift the fret away, then you can it leaves the little part behind. What I then do is lift it gently onto my finger, and we can then see it there, of course. Let's get our little clamp so we can do the excellent Paulie's workbench thing again. So we'll just take that one quickly, insert it into our clamp gently and carefully, tighten down on it, and quick tap. Yeah, that's fine, that'll be good for filing. And we'll file down the length of the end here. Now this is my desk is on wheels, by the way, which means that it does move a little bit. You can see that there, so bear with me as I do this. So that's the first one done. So what we'll then do is just undo that gently like that. Now I'm bearing down on this bit because it's sprung loaded or spring loaded, so I can then remove this. I can then turn it round and then reinsert it, she cried, and there we go. So then I can press down on that again, and as you can see, that's a little bit I'll go in a little bit more for you so that you can see what's going on here, because this is all very fiddly stuff here, and we've been at this for about 20 minutes, and so we can then file these edges off. Leaves us less to catch on there, and yeah, that's nice and smooth now. So again, I'll just bear down on the clamp, turn the screw gently. I'm still bearing down on the clamp, and then I can tweeze this out gently, and away we go. So we can put the clamp away, and now we've got this cleaned and prepared part. Now I'm going to have to be a bit careful, box a bit clever here, because I want this strap buckle to match the other one. And looking at this, that's the top side there. This will be the bottom side here. So let's just take a look and see what direction it followed. So what we can see here is that this little half moon shape at the bottom there actually stays at the bottom, and the long strap runs through the top and the short strap runs through the bottom. So what we're going to have to do is find out that short strap and fetch that off the we'll call this a sprue, shall we? I think it's a fair thing to call it. So we have to pull that short strap off. So that short strap is a number 4, and we have lots of those. Well, we have 3 of them left, early and late. So I'll make a cut there and a cut there, and put that back up there, and then we can look to remove the backing if at all possible. There we go, that's come away very nicely again, as you can see there, just with the end of a blade. It's much simpler than I'd anticipated it would be. So now we can just pull that away, and there we go. So I now want to take my little strap with the half moon at the bottom, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed this up through the bottom there, and then down through the top there, just use a tweezer to hold this with my left hand, because then hopefully things won't disappear. And then what I can then do is twist that over and insert it in there. There we go. And we can just, I'm going to leave that like that, because then I need to feed this second section through, and that's going to be a bit more of a problem, I think, as I recall these things. I seem to remember the last one I did was quite, damn it, didn't want to drop that, did I? The last one I did was quite difficult, and because there's one of the hell's teeth, I just dropped that, didn't I? So let's just feed that if we can. Oh, this is likely to become a comedy of errors, isn't it? You can see that, can't you? So, half moon at the bottom. There we go. Balderdash. There we go. Right, now. Oh, it nearly went. So we just try and ease this through. Ah, there we go, look. So we got one through. So we're on the way. We're halfway there. We were 2/3 of the way there, or 3/4 of the way there, but we'll go back to square one with this one. I don't know if you know the origin of back to square one. I can tell you. This came about, the expression back to square one was from the days of footballing on the radio, when the commentators used to commentate on football on the radio, and they devised a little grid of parts of the field, and square one was the goal. So if the footballist kicked the spheroid back to the goalkeeping fellow, then the commentator said, "Oh yes, and the ball has gone back to square one. Isn't that lovely? He kicks the ball out and it goes to square 6." And everybody who was listening could regard their little grid of squares and would then know where the ball was being kicked to. So there's a little bit of a story. For all those of you who've got this far, and we're 28 minutes in, there's a little story for all you people who've been patient enough to bear with me until now. See what's happened here, look. I've got the lower two through and the upper one's just slipped out, as it were. Can we just drag that in there? Yeah, I think we can, actually. There we go. So let's pull them down through and drop it so that it disappears off the camera. Hopefully you can see all this. So I've been concentrating quite hard on doing this, and I haven't paid a lot of attention to what's been going on, whether I've been on camera or not. Hopefully I have been, and with any luck. No, right. So what I need to do is I need to bring this buckle further up this line here so that it's slightly closer to the other buckle, so as you can see what's there's a, yeah, so it needs to be up about there somewhere like that. So what we'll do, I think, with this is I shall take a hold of this in this way, and we'll just bring this, if we can, just this front one that I'm looking at here now, let's bring this up to where I'd like it to be. Hopefully then that rear one hasn't disappeared away. I think it has, but what I can then do is I'll just drop that rear one down through there. There we go, that one's gone down through. Like that. This is right up the top of the screen, I can see that, so you'll be straining to see up at the top. And what I can then do is I can then take this back strap here, and then I can just gently draw. Oh, that's not the right one, is it? There we go. How about that? So then what we should have is a position where both of these straps are now through, and that's come off. Sorry, I've put that off camera. Sorry about that, everybody. But I am an amateur, no matter what anybody else might say. So then we have that strap now done as well. So now we have, let's turn this up the right way. We have two straps completed, the two uppermost straps. They're approximately equal length. They don't have to be exact, it's not really absolutely necessary. And all we then need to do is to drop those little sections here, these two straps here, and we can put that into the aircraft. But at 32 minutes in, with some very fiddly work done and not a lot of cursing, I'm going to call it a day there, but I'm going to complete the rest of this off camera, and then we'll be ready to drop this into the fuselage and to complete the job of closing up the fuselage, and then we can start to mess around with wings and such like. This is all ready to be put in, that's all ready to be put in, the cowling and so on. So excuse me again, things should knock together quite easily and quite quickly, and I'll give you another look in on what I'm doing in the next sort of week or so, hopefully. But I will have completed these belts here. So look, everybody, thank you very much indeed for your time. If you've got this far, I'm much obliged to you. I shall look forward to seeing you on the next one, and possibly at some stage doing a live with the Voyager. That may be next weekend, next Saturday, I think it's the first Saturday of December, I believe, but don't quote me on that. And if you're watching this 2 years down the line, sorry, but you've missed. Sorry, you were a bit late. Not to worry, but thanks anyway. I'll stop burbling now and wish you all the very best, and say thanks a lot for your time, and hope you enjoyed that today. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.